Hey, y'all. I believe this is podcast 7 of Gabe's Nutritional Health Ramblings. And again, like every podcast I start off with, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. It could be anything. It's only at the end, once I'm done rambling, that I'll figure out what the topic's going to be, what the description's going to be, all that kind of thing. So, I thought about talking about sunlight today. I thought about talking about grounding today. I thought about occupational hazards and exposure to heavy metals, biologics, that kind of thing. But I don't know. I truly don't know. I mean, I've covered a lot of things that I really like, that I'm interested in. But, there's a point where everything will start to intersect again. You start to repeat yourself. I'll repeat myself for a certain amount of time, right? But I mean, if I do a lot of similar things, I'm not as inspired to talk about these things. But, yeah, you know what? Let's get into it, right? So, in my opinion, I have something what I call the theory of antioxidant garbage. So, what do you mean? That's a crazy thing, right? You've always heard, right, how you gotta eat your fruits, your vegetables, take your vitamin C, take your vitamin E. And people say this because you need antioxidants. Antioxidants are like the best thing in the whole world, right? It's supposed to magically fix the inflammation in your body, right? But I don't subscribe to that idea. It makes no damn sense. And when you start to look at this from a physics perspective instead of a woo woo, you need this, or that perspective, right? They can't quantify or define what your need is, right? So we're grown up, we're mature, we're not be dumb about things. They always say that you need antioxidants to help you with inflammation in your body. Now, to a extent, that's true, right? You do need antioxidants, and your body makes it. You make sure your body has the right vitamins and minerals, nutritious diet, etc. Not much to worry about, right? Later, we can talk about the importance of different fats. You got prostaglandins, 1, 2, and 3. 1 and 3 help you with inflammation. Prostaglandins 2 help you with inflammation by making some things get inflamed, right? So, when you learn about prostaglandins, you look at antioxidants from a physics perspective, you look at grounding, all these three things make sense. And let's start with prostaglandins, right? So, prostaglandins are very important because depending on, what you eat, you can elicit a large amount of responses to your immune system, right? People think of inflammation as if there's a fire going on in your body, which would be aggravated by prostaglandins 2, which would be like arachidonic acid, so that would be from eating, fatty acids from meat, right? From saturated fats, that kind of thing, right? That's where you get a rich source of arachidonic acid. So what that does, right, is it tells your body to focus on the inflammation. There's wars going on all over your body, right? So prostaglandins 2 tell you, okay, go fight this war over here. Go fight this fire, right? Let me use a fire analogy because there's so many damn fires in this world, right? Heard about how there's fire in Maui, fires in California, fires in Canada. Apparently there's fires in Greece too. Crazy, right? But point being, there's all these fires in your body, and you gotta turn them off. But my question is, to what extent do you need to turn them off, right? Because when the body is inflamed, that means there's a war going on. There's a fire going on. At what point do we know if this fire is necessary or just a random fire that needs to be turned off, right? So before we talk further, I'm gonna talk in a way that we're talking about a healthy person, right? If you're a person who's eating junk food and seed oils and you don't get sun and you don't do exercise and you're just sedentary inside all day, staring at a screen, you don't do much, then I'm not gonna talk about this person because that kind of person would need a lot of help, a lot of work to get to a better point in health. So I'm gonna talk about this in a healthy person or person who is trying to get healthy, right? So using that example, right, this person, right? When you're healthy, you have less inflammation, of course, right? Less oxidation, less glycation. You have less damage happening to your body. So I do think there is a purpose to eating arachidonic acid, right? Some argue don't eat fatty acids, don't eat saturated fat, right? Don't do that because it's just going to aggravate your inflammation. To an extent, that may be true, but again, right, we're looking at inflammation. The body's trying to tackle this inflammation, right? So activating prostaglandins 2, which is all over your body, right? 1, 2, and 3, is activated and it tells the body, all right, go here, and alerts your immune system. Your immune system goes, you have more blood flow, inflammation, it's kind of bigger, it's kind of redder. And since you have more blood rushing there, you have, the whole battalion of firefighters there to try and help you, right? Of course, it involves, the macrophages, the white blood cells, all that kind of things, right? Get your different cells helping you with, if it's an infection, if it's, you know, something stuck in your body, then in that case, this fire goes there to take it out. But then you have people that are big pushers, right, of stimulating prostaglandins 1 and 3, which are helpful, right? You need these, and you can get them from eating, seafood. You need omega-3s for these, right? You have linoleic acid, alpha linoleic acid, and then they kind of help with each other. So you do need a good ratio, right, of omega-3s to omega-6, right? And you always hear about how omega-6 is very inflammatory. Very true, right? You don't need a lot of that, right? So that can be left alone, as long as you get seed oils from your diet and you don't eat any of that crap, no margarine, no corn oil, canola oil, no peanut oil, rapeseed oil, anything that comes from a seed, right? Don't eat that. If it comes from a fruit, sure, right? Comes from the fat of an animal, cool, no problem with that, right? But once you have that balanced, right, with your DHA, EPA, right? You get zinc, you get B6 because you need some of these coenzymes to help you produce these prostaglandins to work efficiently. Then, right, rightfully so, your prostaglandins 1 and 3 will come in and say, all right, I'm gonna call you guys off. We don't need the firefighters here anymore. This fire is taken care of, right? I do wonder to what extent can you prematurely call the firefighters away when there's still a fire raging on, right? The body's very smart, it's intelligent, so I don't think the body's that dumb, but I mean, hey, we could be artificially inducing calling away the firefighters when we need them there, right? Because inflammation doesn't happen for no reason, right? When you have inflammation, it's your body working and saying, hey, there's a problem, we gotta work on this. So if you prematurely call the problem away, now it may be very possible for this problem to fester, you know? The fire's gonna grow, it's gonna grow, it's gonna get bigger, it's gonna get nastier, and the firefighters won't be there to fight because they were called away. So that's one of my problems with people that say you don't need arachidonic acid, right? Because you're not solving the root cause, you're just removing the firefighters that are there to help you with the fire. So yeah, don't do that, please. Regularly eat meat, eat beef. It's gonna call attention to the problems in your body. And then, rightfully so, eating some seafood, that'd be good to kind of ease and kind of help with your prostaglandins, E1 and E3. But then it leads me to this other scenario, right? Where the body, when you're detoxing, right, it does need antioxidants, and your body can make it, right? And then to an extent, your body does need oxidation, right? Which is bad. That's inflammation. That's the worst thing in the world. But you need oxidation, just how your body needs certain places to be alkaline and needs certain places in your body to be acidic, right? Everything's a fine balance between one pole towards the other pole, right? It's a sort of balance, right? And I'm not talking about balancing to making everything neutralized like pH 7, right? No, I mean, some things need to be acidic, some things need to be alkaline, right? You can't overdo one or the other. Things respective to what they are going to be what they are, right? Like your armpits are acidic, right? To kill bacteria. Like your stomach should be acidic to kill pathogens and break down food. Like your intestines should be alkaline, so it could neutralize the acid coming from the stomach, and you can absorb the food, right? Everything plays a purpose. Same thing with your blood. Your blood has a certain pH value. But getting off topic, right? For liver detox, right? To get healthy, to get rid of things, right? Your body first has to get these toxins. Gets these toxins. The liver is going to mess with them. It's going to oxidize them. Sometimes it may turn into a more toxic form, so it could then conjugate it into a more water-soluble form. That way you could pee and poop it out. If you don't do that, then you're kind of stuck and, you know, you can't really pee something that's toxic, right? It's got to be turned into a safe form, right? So knowing that, right, you do need oxidation, right? People always talk about the inflammation and how it may destroy surrounding areas, let's say in your tissue. That is true, right? But because, again, you're fighting a fire, it's going to light things around it. So it's necessary. So if you're taking a bunch of herbs that can help you with this inflammation and lowering it, like I like turmeric, right? But I think I've done too much. It could be a negative outlook on you, negative consequences. Because they're just kind of not suppressing the fire, right? But you're calling me the firefighters, and the firefighters won't really alert you of any fires going on. They're just there in the fire station, chilling, relaxing, thinking nothing's going on, not reporting that there's fires, even though there are, in fact, fires going on in your body. Whether it be your joints, your ligaments, your muscles, whether it's going to be, you know, problems in your brain. You name it anywhere, right? There's always a fire to be found in the body, right? But you've called that off, right? Then you're not going to help it heal or get better. Now, it'll feel good in the short term because the firefighters aren't there. And it's weird the way the body works. Because you call the firefighters away, there's going to be like a stimuli. So you'll feel like you're better, right? Like, oh man, my joints are recovered, they're healed, they're better, right? Or, oh man, this inflammation part of my body, right? Let's say you broke a bone or sprained a muscle, right? And you do that, and you call away your firefighters by, not eating organic acid, taking all sorts of herbs to help you with the inflammation. And again, right, I told people, right, like, let's say you hit yourself, right, and you get this bump, right? Don't put ice on it. If it hurts like hell, and you just can't manage the pain, then okay, put ice on it. That's fine. Because you want to heal, but you don't want to stop the healing completely, right? So put a bit of ice on and off, so it's a bit more comfortable, although it's not going to be very comfortable. So, in that case, what you got to do is allow the fire to burn as the firefighters fight it, right? It's a catch-22, right? You would think if the fire is burning, you're going to feel the fire, but that's not how it works. It will, long term, if it's kept not in check by firefighters, then it might manifest into different symptoms, diseases and whatnot, right? I don't know what they'll be, right? Depends on the situation. But it's important to be mindful. And then this gets into my talking to antioxidants, right? So before we talk about antioxidants, let us look at this from a physics perspective, right? You know, you have electrons, you got neutrons, you got protons, So electrons are the negative charge, right? Whether you think about it or not, humans are batteries. Our cells have batteries. ATP is energy. We need energy, right? Everything has energy. So when you talk about, these oxidants, right? What they mean is, you have what's called an electron shell, right? And everything, idealistically, from this logical idea, should be paired. There should be a bunch of pairings, and there should never be like an empty slot in this orbital shell, right? Physics. And if there is not an electron donated, right? Antioxidant, right? Then you're not gonna stop this problem where it's oxidizing and it's breaking everything, it's damaging everything, right? But again, I don't think the body is that dumb. I think it's possible if you feed your body too much antioxidants, you could stop the inflammation, but you're not fixing the problem. Like the fire, right? If you do that, you're calling away firefighters. They can't do their job. Because you do need some controlled fires, right? Your firefighters should be working to put away the fire. And once you put away the fire, then hey, yeah, go back to the base, guys. You're done, right? But if you're prematurely calling the fire, you could still be burning and don't know about it. It's an awkward kind of concept to grasp. Because you think just because you're not hurting or the inflammation's gone, is it truly gone? All it means is your firefighters aren't there. So, getting back into antioxidants, why I don't think we need them is because the body can make its own antioxidants, right? You have superoxide dismutase, you have catalase, different things in your body that help you with antioxidants. Well, the body will produce what's needed, right? As long as you feed it the right vitamins and minerals, and you get your amino acids, get your B vitamins, you need B6, you need zinc. That's important. Get your proteins as amino acids, and your body can heal. It just needs the energy and the nutrition to heal, right? But I wouldn't call antioxidants a required or necessary thing, right? Because, again, the moral of the story, right, is the fire doesn't hurt you. It's the fireman telling you it's hurting you. And you're getting this painful stimuli to take care of this problem. Let's do icky joints for an example, right? Let's say you eat nightshades and you get inflammation, and the solanine for the nightshade compounds, it goes into your joint and starts hurting, right? Let's say you get oxalates, right? When you have a buildup of oxalic acid in your joints, right? That's an easy example. Your firefighters are there trying to take care of this fire, right? Trying to take care of the oxalic acid, or trying to get rid of the solanine compounds that are hurting your joint. But it only hurts because the firefighters are telling you it hurts, right? And they're telling you, we're addressing this problem. And then at some point, if you just say, fuck it, I'm gonna do a ton of antioxidants, take turmeric, all these things, take boswellia, which is frankincense. And oh man, magically just went away. There's no pain, right? I'm cured, I'm healed. But since the firefighters aren't there. And I keep repeating this because it's an odd concept. Because logically, right, if something's on fire, you're gonna feel the heat, it's gonna be burning, right? But the way the body works with the immune system, it's the immune system, the firefighters telling you, this is hurting you, this is where it's hurting you, know this. We're all working together, we're sending all this white blood cells, all these red blood cells, it's gonna swell up this area, because we're fighting this fire. The whole battalion's there. So just now, right, it works that way, and it's weird. And in that way, you could kind of suppress something by doing too many antioxidants and not fixing the root cause. I know a lot of people do this, and they don't know that. And it's important to be mindful of why this happens. So one of the reasons, right, is just make sure you have the electron shells all paired up, right? But does it really work like that? In theory, right, if you have all your shells, right, all the electrons paired, then there's no oxidation technically, right? There's no inflammation. Nothing is happening. Does this mean your firefighters are called away, or does it mean that they're impaired? Now, I don't know. It's possible that your firefighters may be impaired, right? They might have inferior equipment. Their water truck might be shut off, right? That's the way I'm thinking of it. So they can't really fight that fire. That's a theory of mine, of course. I don't know about this being true or not, but logically, looking at physiology, for as much as I do know, or what I know, that's what makes sense to me. But again, I think this is where grounding comes into effect, right? Now, grounding's a weirdly interesting concept, right? And it would make sense that humans, animals, everything in nature, we are, in a sense, connected to the earth. So, you know, ever since we were, whether you believe we were fish frogs and we came out of the ocean and turned into humans, or aliens brought us together and they genetically modified us and then we're Homo sapien, whatever you call it, whatever your belief is, humans are able to be grounded to the earth. You go outside, step on grass, and when you step on grass, then you begin to get charged. It's interesting because there was a study where if you're outside, grounded, barefoot, 15 minutes a day, that you, if you have sticky, clumpy blood, it would unwind that. So your blood would be less viscous, more fluid, runs better circulation, helps with the high blood pressure apparently. It's an interesting concept. All because you sit outside for 15 minutes and were barefoot. Now that's weird, sounds like woo-woo magic, but again, this is the beauty of nutrition and health and wellness and all that kind of stuff. Because at this point, you gotta understand physics. And then this kind of becomes a biophysics. Because the world is one big electrical plant. And I think Nikola Tesla knew that to an extent. You could harness this energy out there, whether it's the magnetosphere, whether it's pulling it through the ether. I don't know. But I think Nikola Tesla was onto something, right? Looking at the body, when you go and you're grounding, you're basically shooting up all these electrons into your body, right? And then your body gets to match the pairs, right? It gets to fill in all of the orbital shells. So it has an antioxidant effect. But I wonder if there's perhaps a mechanism, right? Because I think, right, maybe the body is smart enough to be grounded, step into the earth, get all these electrons, and then maybe the body knows what to do with all the excess electrons, right? Maybe there's a point where the body says, all right, I need just enough to make sure I can control inflammation, but at the same time, control how much I need to have inflammation. Because if you just have electrons all the time, right, then technically you just turn it off, right? Like antioxidants, right? Or maybe antioxidants work the other way. What if you do too many antioxidants and then you're just as unmatched as you were to begin with because you took so much antioxidants, right? I mean, we don't really have a way of measuring, I suppose. You know, like a little test to take on your phone or some equipment to say, okay, all your cells have, matching electrons and there's no oxidation happening. But you want oxidation to happen, right? So I do wonder if humans, since we've evolved with the earth, maybe we're naked and not wearing clothing and no shoes, and it was apparently a recent thing, right? Up until the 50s. Well, when humans wore shoes, the soles of the shoes were not made of rubber. They were made out of leather. And you have people that were, proficient in shoes and, you know, they're shoemakers and they cobbled the shoes and they would put this leather sole and, it was a craft. It was artisan work and these people would make shoes for people, custom. So everybody walked around with shoes with a leather sole. So technically humans were always grounded back then. It wasn't until today where we started wearing rubber shoes on everything, rubber soles, that in fact people were unable to remain grounded to the earth. And because humans weren't able to be grounded to the earth, that's when it was noticed that there was all this extra heart disease, all this extra cancers, all these extra problems in the body, all this excess of autoimmunity and inflammation, all these things, right? Is there something hidden or forgotten about when it comes to being outside and being grounded, right? I think there is. There's got to be something to that. If humans need to be grounded like 24/7, right? And we just cut that off, then we're losing a free source of electrons to match the orbital shells, to have matched pairs, to make sure we are having problems. I don't know. It's a weird concept. It's something I was thinking about for quite a while. Because I've heard of people taking, all sorts of supplements and all these things to lower inflammation. There's all these fucking things, right? Take resveratrol, right? Because it lowers you know, your inflammation, right? Take turmeric, take frankincense, boswellia, right? Take all these things that reduce inflammation. Is it actually helping or is it suppressing the fire? That's my biggest problem. Because when you take herbs are very medicinal. They're very drug-like in the response to the body. It's something like taking a vitamin or mineral. Your body actively needs and utilizes vitamins and minerals. Like I say, humans don't have a herb deficiency. No such thing. Humans don't have a big pharma pill deficiency. No such thing. So, when you take too many antioxidants, what if there's another effect occurring, right? They're just calling away the firefighters and the fire's still raging on. The reason I'm going to have a bias towards this idea, and Mixed Grounding won't have this idea, is because, in my opinion, even though I can't prove it, I don't see the research on this thing, or maybe there is and I just haven't found it yet. That is, when it happens from grounding, our body somehow knows how to regulate it. And I don't have any proof of that, I don't have any ideas for that. It's something that just makes sense to me, right? Because exogenously, eating a bunch of antioxidants, you're bound to overdo it. Kind of like when you take vitamins that are methylated. Some people are over-methylated, some people are under-methylated. Again, you can overdo your methylation. Example would be folate. People take a lot of methylfolate. We need folate, right? It's a hard thing to get. The most common form is methylfolate. But you take too much methylfolate and you're over-methylated, then you're not going to feel good because, you know, your body has to deal with the extra methylation. Whereas if you take a calcium salt or like a calcium folinate, then your body has an easier time turning that into the required folate you need. You know? It's like using tryptophan to get melatonin. You take melatonin, you're cheating because you're just getting it in, right? Same thing with, you know, everyone's favorite antioxidant, the master antioxidant, glutathione. Why take glutathione when you could just take N-acetylcysteine and your body can make your own glutathione, right? Similar concept. You want to help your body get the materials it needs to produce what it can do. For some people, they may need to, you know, get the end product, and that's fine. But it just seems better to me to take something to help your conversion instead of getting the final product. Because I know that people who overdo melatonin have trouble sleeping and become reliant on it. I don't know if that happens with glutathione as well. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I'm pretty sure mine likes to use all your glutathione. But it makes more sense to me to take N-acetylcysteine to help you make the conversion so your body can make its own glutathione. You want to make your body resilient and strong, and we don't want to get it to the point, right, where it's relying on things. Because it's a smart body. We each have a smart body, we just got to nurture it the right way. So yeah, that's my little spiel about antioxidants, prostaglandins, oxidation, damage, grounding, a physics view of electron orbital shells. I just hate the word antioxidant. It makes sense because you're trying to stop oxidation from there being these shells that are unmatched, that's missing something, and that will cause inflammation. But then again, we need inflammation in the right way. And I believe, with no proof, just a theory, that grounding will help you with that. It'll just know how much electrons to give you, how much to pair, how much to unpair. It's like being plugged into a battery. But hey, I could also very well be wrong. I could be really wrong. It could be just like how I summarize getting too many antioxidants. Eating all these things that are antioxidants. It could prove to be the other end of the spectrum. But I've done grounding, I've felt good, I felt better. You can tell when the inflammation goes away. But I do wonder to an extent, right? And I'm worried about this, and I want to do more research on this. Is it suppressing the firefighters, or is it actually helping the firefighters while also suppressing it a little bit? I don't know. I do really want to go research this a lot more. Because if that's the case, then grounding could be one of the best things we can be doing. We might have to return to wearing shoes that aren't rubber. Return to shoes that are made of leather soles. So when you walk outside, you're always grounded. You're always getting the electrons you need to help with your inflammation, to help with your pain, to help with your joints, to help with any problem you have, any inflammation. And that's really the whole point of today's talk. To kind of bring awareness to grounding. It's a weird kind of boo-boo thing, but through physics and biophysics, it makes sense. You can actually, when you're stepping on the ground barefoot, you can actually measure the energy coming out of you. It's crazy, right? That's cool. It's often overlooked and branded as a woo-woo science, but we understand the mechanisms of why that happens. So, I think a lot of people are coming around towards grounding, earthing, however someone wishes to call it, because I think it'll help everybody. I think if you're a person who's in pain and you need some good relief, grounding can do it for you. I think if you eat a lot of herbs and stuff like that, you could overshoot it and never really fix the root cause of the fire that's going on. Because, let me tell you, your immune system is always active. It's always on guard, it's always on edge, it's always watching, it's always protecting. Maybe it kills a few firefighters here and there, right? But hopefully we don't have to call the entire fire squadron and brigade to take care of massive fires and keep them in check. Again, as I say, it's important to eat meat, eat your saturated fats, helps with cholesterol, helps with your cells, it helps with your inflammation, of pointing where inflammation is, because there's all these mechanics around, right? And the body's intricate, and there's a bunch of nuance in nutrition and health, of how things help, how they interact. It's a very complex systems. So eat your meat, get your nutrients, get your zinc. The zinc's important for detoxing, important for your immune system, very much required. As far as people who do grounding, I think there are more benefits the more you do it, the longer you do it. I think walking on the sand on the beach does it too. I think shipping into the water does it too. Bucketing into the earth, so there should be electrons going all the way into your body. So I don't think it counts, right? But I think sunlight even gives you electrons, right? It's light, right? So you're also getting electrons from the sun. And I do wonder how the body will regulate that, right? To match the necessity of oxidation by the body to fix inflammation by your immune system, and also not overdoing it to the point where you're shutting off the necessity of oxidation to take care of the problem. Usually the way it works is you oxidize something, and of course it's a little chaotic, a little bit damaging, you damage things all around it, and then the crew comes to clean up and fix and heal. It's usually the way it goes in our body. So I wonder, is grounding the ultimate thing we're missing in our life? I think so. That makes sense. Apparently, they're selling like a mat, right? It's a weird concept. It's this mat that you plug into your wall and you're sleeping on it, and it's getting electrons from, your wall, right? Because it is energy. But I don't know about that. I've heard people feel great and amazing from that. Is it the same principle? It's grounding in the earth? Is it different because it's coming from the wall? I don't know. I really don't know. But I'm very analytical when it comes to discrepancies, the little differences, right? Because there's always nuance there. There's always pros and cons to everything for the most part, right? There's always trade offs. But again, I'm not a physics person that studies grounding. I know there's a few people that study grounding, but again, like all sciences, there's only so much you know, only so much you can know, and it's really, really weird. I think for a long, long time we were led to believe that if you just stop the inflammation by taking all these herbs, you'll be healthy and you'll feel good. But I see people get their pain back. I see people get their cancer back. I see people get different problems again. They get their tumors and all these things, right? It's just suppression of pain as the fire keeps on growing. So let us not suppress the fires. Let us not suppress the pain. Let us get the pain. Hopefully do the right things with our body. Eat well, eat a lot of meat, vitamins, and minerals. And over time, right, your body will deal with it. Grounding will help you if you're a person who truly needs it and really needs it, right? Go outside barefooted whenever you can, 15 minutes or more. I've done it for an hour and felt great. Might be hard at first, right? And the reason, personally, right, I don't need a big study to tell me things. It can help, but you need to know like you yourself are the ultimate study. You are the N of one. What you go through and experience matters, because what someone else goes through may very well be completely different from what you go through, right? as I was talking about, we each have our different unique problems, and we're bio individual. We're unique people. So what works for you may not work for someone else, and vice versa. So remember, you are your own ultimate experience. We all have our little nuances here and there of what makes us different, and we gotta do things accordingly to how we're different, why are we different, the things that we eat, the things we don't eat, the problems we've been exposed to, the things we are lucky to have or not have, right? Everyone's very different. So try grounding. You may like it, you may not like it. You could go when the sun's up, you could go when the sun's down, but I'm going to give you a perspective from my own experience of doing grounding. Because as a nutritionist, and I look at health, and I look at it through a lens of system engineering, I don't make people do things I won't do, right? That's part of having ethics. That's part of being a good person. That's part of, you know, biting the bullet. If I do something, I need to experience it for the sake of clients. Because I don't want to do something that's bad, or recommend something that's bad, because I hear it's good, and it's really just detrimental, right? I care about the health of my clients. If I put you through something, it's because I'm doing it, or I did it. I went through that experience as well, right? I'm never going to subject my clients to something I've never experienced, because my recommendations are important. People listen to you with authority, and they place a lot of hope on you to make sure you're recommending things that are very helpful. So again, I'm gonna give you guys a idea of what went through me when I was doing grounding. And mind you, I've been detoxing for over a year, straight on, completely. I make sure to get enough zinc, selenium, molybdenum, eating enough protein, eating enough fatty acids, eating a lot of meat, that kind of thing, right? And it's different for me, right? Some people go step on grounding, maybe they're not as damaged as some of us aren't, right? Some of us as people are very damaged. And other people, they get grounded and they feel great, right? For me in the beginning, I felt good for 15 minutes. 20 minutes, I felt great. 30 minutes, I felt phenomenal, right? And then after 30 minutes, I was just detoxing really fucking hard. Like, really hard. I had headaches, you know. I talk about how toxic vitamin A is, detoxing it. I was a Accutane survivor, which maybe my next talk will be about that, right? Taking Accutane and how it fucks you up. It just really ruins your body. If I could sue them, I would sue them. But Big Pharma's fucking corrupt as shit. So just know that. And have you ever seen anyone who didn't take Accutane? Tell them no. They literally show you a black box warning label of how it'll mess with your fertility. How if you're having unprotected sex, right, and you get someone pregnant, that you could basically give them an alien baby, right? A baby that's disfigured and full of problems. And vice versa for the mother, she's taking it. So, yeah, we're on Accutane or have vitamin A poisoning or bad fertility, yeah, beware. Because drugs can cause you problems. And we'll talk about this more often in the next chat. But yeah, going back to my experience with grounding and earthing, it's it's good. I think it really does help you with detoxing, and I think it helps you with oxidation. And I don't think it's shutting down your oxidation. I don't think it's telling your firefighters to go away, right? I think to an extent it might be helping them a lot more. But with detoxing, you can always overdo detoxing, and that's something I tell people. Be careful, right? You take too much zinc, you could feel a little bad, right? Not because your zinc copper balance is mix, but because you're dumping more bile and the bile has all the toxins and you gotta get rid of it. So, upper limit of zinc picolinate, 30 milligrams. Some people are sensitive, they may need 5, 10, 15, it depends, right? But when you overdo it, you usually get a headache and feel a bit lethargic and you feel a bit weak. So, the reason I concluded what I concluded, right, in my experience and my theory, is in the beginning, okay, yeah, I felt good, I felt better. But I think it's possible to overdo grounding when you're a toxic person dealing with things, right? Like I'm trying to get rid of hypervitaminosis A, right? Vitamin A toxicity because I took Accutane, and I'm still suffering from the consequences. Like 13 years later. So please don't take that fucking drug. It's literally poison. So it works by like shutting down your immune system. That's how it works, right? You get a shit ton of vitamin A, and you're so toxic that your body can't even begin to work on the immune system, right? So in essence, it works like an immunosuppressant. It used to be a cancer drug or some shit, so obviously it's not good. They're trying to use research in China, right, or something similar to use for a male contraceptive, which is kind of bad because it makes you go infertile. If it makes you lose your fertility, it's probably a horrible thing. People who are healthy and ready to have children are fertile. If it makes you infertile, then it's poisoning you. It's slowly killing you on the inside. So be mindful. I'm not a doctor, so I can't tell you to not take it, but I can tell you these side effects are fucking ridiculous. I still suffer from dry mouth, which is why I kind of sound like this. I got this weird voice. I used to have a badass voice. I mean, I'm not fucking RFK, right? But you know, I got a dry tongue, cotton mouth, that kind of thing, dry eyes. So when I was grounding, I noticed it made me detox harder. So if you're a person who's trying to, detox and go through the motions of detoxing, because it's a lifelong thing, right? And we usually have our immune systems shut down because we do all these bad things, right? That suppress our immune systems, like drinking alcohol, right? So when you support your liver and you're always detoxing, you know when you push too hard. So when I was grounding, I pushed too hard. I did 30 minutes, I did an hour, and yeah, I felt horrible later on. Got headaches, that kind of thing. And that's why I think grounding is different. It's special, right? In the body. Because it seems to me it was allowing oxidation to go through, which was helping me detox. If it worked like antioxidants from eating, like these herbs, from eating all not these vitamins and minerals, right? Because herbs may have some, but you're taking herbs for the drug-like effect. The antioxidants, right? Eating your veggies, eating your fruits, right? Because they have a lot of antioxidants, right? That are so, cheered on. I noticed that it didn't suppress me. It allowed me to feel bad, which means it helped me detox more. So, in my experience and in my opinion and my theory, I think that's why grounding has a mechanism of allowing you to oxidate for proper detoxing while making sure everything else, which may need to be, called off the fire, right, is done well. It knows what it's doing. The body knows what it's doing, right, when it's grounded. But if you got that mat you plug into a wall, I don't know if it works the same way. I really don't. It seems to be a different form of getting your electrons. I don't know if it's the same way as the Earth, because it's interesting. And another thing that's interesting, right? It actually helped me regulate my sleep schedule. I'm a night owl. It's just the kind of person I am. Because of preference, I've just never liked waking up early. And I noticed when I would ground, it kind of forcibly made me fix my sleep schedule. It made me wake up earlier, made me fall asleep earlier, you know, which is interesting. Because I go outside, I walk around, I'm shirtless, I wear shorts, I get a good 15, 30 minutes of sun every day or every other day or whenever I can, right? Sometimes I'm busy. But when I was grounding, oh man, that actually, in my opinion, had a significant effect on my circadian rhythm. I wanted to sleep early. I actually felt tired. I wanted to wake up early. It like synced me with the sun, even though I got sun every day. I've been making sure to get sun every day, right? But there was something about grounding that had that effect on me. And similarly, when I go out swim in a pool, right, it has that same effect on me. So there is something to grounding beyond what we know or understand, right? Because that would be a hard, difficult study to put together, right? Because you got to study one specific thing, right? But it helped me detox better, maybe a little too hard. So I think it does help you with oxidation that you need for your phase 1 and phase 2 liver detox. It helped me with my circadian rhythm, which is amazing. I didn't know there was another factor at play, and that's being grounded. So if you're an insomniac, you can't sleep, you have trouble, go outside and ground for 15, 30, an hour, depending. Do what's best for you. And I noticed that the longer I would be grounded, that I would, the stronger it had an effect on my circadian rhythm. So there's something there with the electrons, right? Because I do think maybe, I think I read this somewhere that depending on the time of day and the pull of the Earth or some weird shit. I'm not a physicist, of course, but it does have an effect on your body. So try grounding. It's a interesting experience, and it's a good tool to help you with your circadian rhythm. And the more I think about it, if you're jet lag, if you're going on a trip somewhere, try grounding. It might have a significant, profound effect on helping you with the circadian rhythm in that area. Because I know that being jet lag feels like shit, right? Doesn't feel good. You feel off. So, what if there's a factor at play, such as tuning yourself to the electrons at a certain place at a certain time of the day? That may very well be a thing that we just really don't know understand yet, right? It's an odd science because you can't really see it, but you can feel it, you know? I think people should try it because there's benefits to be had, right? And it made me detox harder, right? So I gotta be careful because I'm detoxing hard. I'm trying to get rid of Accutane from my body, which is stored as retinoid, retin-A, 13-cis, that kind of stuff. Because I took it for years and it damaged me in that way. So yeah, there's days where I could detox too hard. But after doing it for quite a while, I believe it's 30 minutes for me a day is my max. If I do any more, I get detoxing pretty hard. But I think for the average person who doesn't have a lot of problems, you may benefit very well from, grounding. So taking this into perspective, I don't think grounding 24/7 is for everybody, right? Because we now live in a very toxic time in our world. A lot of pollution in the air, a lot of things our body goes through. Some to be crap, and we gotta detox that too. Some people drink a lot of alcohol, and that shuts down your detox mechanism. You're losing B vitamins. You need your B vitamins for detoxing, for your metabolism, to process your glucose, all that kind of things. So the first steps to health, really, which I haven't really talked about, is you gotta clean your diet. You know, if you're reading this, right, and you're interested, I have a free PDF, free ebook If you go to my website, go down, sign up for my newsletter. It tells you what are things you can do, right? Things to avoid, things to help you, on how to have a better diet and start getting healthier. And as you start to get healthier, you can start then to detox efficiently, right? Because first you gotta stop taking in poison to get rid of poison. If we're taking in poison and getting rid of poison, then it kind of cancels each other out because you're always in a state of perpetual toxicity. So we as humans will do our best to get healthy. So yeah, please, if you like listening to this, if you enjoy healthy tips, I got like 3 chapters on macronutrients, fats, carbs, proteins, healthy lifestyle, like sunlight, parts of sleep, sunlight, blue light blockers, how screens affect you. Got all those things in my book. So please read it. Give it a read. I spent a lot of time on that little ebook. It's very nice, very short, very condensed, and it helps people. People read it and it opens their mind. It expands. They start to think about things they never really thought about before, right? I talk about, our past survival as hypercarnivores, hunter-gatherers. It's important for us to realize that we are still animals. Even though we're much refined and evolved animals, we gotta learn to live with our nature as carnivores, avoiding toxins, how to get into the point, right, of health. And I hope it helps. Really, I truly do. And if you've done everything and you want extra help and you feel like you need to see a nutritionist to help you with certain things, then please come talk to me. I'd be happy to sit down, have an appointment with you, see what's wrong, see what I can do, see what I can help with, because we're just all out here trying to get better, and I made it my job, made it my mission, made it my career. Hopefully, if I'm successful enough to have enough clients to help you. And just remember, I'll always be there for you. I want to be your nutritionist. I want to help you with your diet, with your food. I want you to feel better. We'll explore each little crevice, each little crumbs of things in your past that might be affecting you, right? When you have an appointment with me, we have the first appointment where we meet for a little bit. We talk about things which may be affecting you. I sign you up for NutriQ. We talk there. Then we plan the next appointment next week. Then from that first appointment, right? The pre-appointment, I suppose you can call it, right? The consultation. I'll give you homework. I give you a nutritional assessment questionnaire. A lot of questions. Helps me with your past, things you've done, things you haven't done. Just general health questions. And then from there, we have a productive first appointment. After the second appointment, I give you more homework, food and mood journal, more questions. Help recommend to you some things. Little subtle changes here and there. Third appointment, I'll recommend something to you. A big list of recommendations you could do to improve your health. Fourthly and lastly, I will, check in on you. This is every 3 weeks. And we'll see how you're doing. Maybe we continue the 3-month appointment. If you're feeling good, feeling great, feeling better, healthier, then you don't need to see me anymore. But what you can do is sign up for the monthly accountability program, where I see you for 30 minutes once a month or every 21 days or something. And yeah, we'll make sure to keep you healthy. We'll make sure to keep you on track, on the straight and narrow. Please like my podcast, subscribe to it, uh, follow me on social media. I'm trying to get a following. I'm trying to help people. I'm just starting out. It's only been a month, but yeah, if you can help me and I can help you, then I would love for that to happen, right? So thank you for listening to me today, and have a great and amazing day. May you be grounded.